Hello. How's everybody doing? It's Friday, 2:30. I'm glad to be back in the shop and joining you here on Facebook. So Woodturning Tool Store Facebook page, Woodturners Retreat Facebook page, as well as my YouTube channel, Woodturning Tool Store. So wherever you can catch me, hopefully you're joining in. So appreciate it. So Friday afternoons at 2:30, I do this live stream. And we do it every Friday. It will be every Friday for the next 2 weeks, 2 more weeks in this series. So this series, I'll just put myself down the corner. Actually, I'll take myself right off for a second. So we talk about all things wood turning, tools, equipment, processes, and techniques, wood and materials. So this particular series is, wrong side, Todd, face grain series. So last fall we did a series on a lot of spindle stuff. So I thought this winter started in late January. We do some face grain turning. So we're talking about all kinds of different sort of bowls and platters and stuff like that. So we'll turn that off. And we have a few people joining us. Oh, Tony, good to see you here. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. So Lowell, excellent. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. All my Texas friends and Glenn as well. So good to have you here. So thanks, guys, for joining. I appreciate it. Hope you had a good week. Hopefully things are kind of back to normal. Hopefully everybody's got whatever insurance claims or fixes done to their house, their water systems are back on and all that stuff. It's been a bit of a nightmare and challenge for a lot of folks across the country and across Texas. So luckily we were okay up here. I have got a new power cord reel. Came in sometime last week, maybe even right after the live stream. I can't remember, but it's a mammoth thing. I think I bought too big. It's 65 foot. So. But I had a lot of feedback on the article in the newsletter. If you got one of those cord reels, it's best to unwind it all and then use it rather than leave it coiled up. So a lot of this electrical engineering stuff, in the former life, I was an electrical engineer. I choose to forget that stuff. So so if you do have, oh, sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Saying hi to Glenn again. So if you do have one, do that. But this thing's massive, so I'll have to hang it up eventually. The other thing, let's see, what else today I want to talk about. Oh, I got some, let me go down here and turn this on. So I haven't turned my overhead thing on yet. So I don't know if you notice anything different there. You'll see it as I pass by and set up the set points on my slider. A new toy. We'll talk about that in a second as you'll see some of the stuff we're going to look at here in a minute. And I'll widen out here in a second and we'll see what we're looking at. So there's the lathe bed. There's the new Axminster chuck. This is the little SK100 and it's got the O'Donnell jaws on it. So I kind of like these tapered jaws. It's kind of nice. So I got this one and the big SK100 and a couple sets of jaws and stuff. So trying out these guys. We'll see how they go. Alvaro Turning Wood. Hello. Well, good to have you here. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Alvaro, I don't know. Do I follow you on YouTube? Maybe I do. I don't know. But thanks for joining on YouTube. Appreciate it. And Roy's in the house. Good to have you here. Thank you, Roy, for joining. I talked to one of your neighbors down there in Arlington the other day, Jason Phillips, I think. So maybe you know him. I don't know. Anyway, good to have you all here. So today we are talking about twice turn bowls. So that's what we're looking at today. We've done. I've got to always refer back to my webpage because I can't remember. So we've gone through face grain orientation basics, and then we talked about the bowl gouge. We did a simple bowl. Last week we attempted a thin bowl. We got very thin on it. So we got that thin on it. It's got a little too thin, as you can tell. So, but it was fun. Good challenge to do. It was nice dry walnut. So, and today we're doing twice turn bowl. So what is a twice turn bowl? Comes with turning wet wood, fresh wood you get from your arborist or somebody who's cut down a tree or a tree fell in the storm. You harvest wood and you get log sections. You cut those log sections up. You turn that bowl. Well, it's so wet that you got to let it dry. So you turn it once for the drying process, and then the twice turn is turning the dry and stuff. So we got a couple other people joining. Philip Greenwood, Philip's from across the pond. Thank you for joining, Philip. I appreciate it. So, and Nick from down, I was want to say San Antonio, but it's Austin, I believe. So maybe it is San Antonio. I'm getting you and Nick, you and Tony mixed up, Nick, because Tony's wife is Nikki. And anyway, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. And Hyam, good to have you here. Thank you for joining. So appreciate it. So yeah, twice turn bowl. So we're not gonna do the first part. We are going to assume that you've turned a blank, and so if we look at a blank from a section of wood, this is an ugly piece of wood that I've had sitting around. It's been cut on the bandsaw, maybe chainsawed a few spots, and we just widen out a little bit. It's got some nice figure on this side. I think it'll be pretty at some point, definitely. So coated it with anchor seal. So that's what this waxy film is here. That's to prevent it from drying out too quick and prevent drying. So we look at the ends. We don't see any checking. I've taken the pith right out, so that's nice. So there's no checking here, so it's drying nicely. There you can see the grain coming through here, so the pith was somewhere in here. And so this is a wet bowl blank that I would take to the lathe, mount up one way or another. I got the center there from when I bandsawed it, I think, and turn it to a thickness throughout the bowl. That's typically the recommendation is was a 10-to-1. I think so. It is. If you got a 10-inch blank, this is close to 10 inches. You'd leave an inch thickness in the wall all the way around your bowl. So if it's 12 inches, leave 1.25 inches there, and so on and so forth. So Glenn's got a question. Let's take a look. The Axminster chuck, did you order it from the UK, or is there a dealer in the US? UK Axminster is shipping to the US. So you order on their site, you order in US dollars, and they ship at DHL, so it comes pretty damn quick. So I was really happy about that. I got Cindy will be happy. Cindy's on. I saw her note there. She bought a couple of these last 2 months ago or something like that. So there's the little one, the SK100, and here's the SK114. And I've got a set of big A-jaws on this one. And I bought the O'Donnell jaws and the inserts. So we can take a look at that later, maybe in the program. It's kind of exciting. I haven't really spent money on chucks for quite a while. So yeah, so go to their Axminster site and you'll be able to order in US dollars. I think I ordered this on, today's Friday, of course. It's Friday, of course. Why would I not know that? I think I ordered Monday night and it got here today. So DHL is how they ship. No, I think I ordered Sunday and it got here today. So really quick. So I sometimes ship DHL if I'm going overseas. It works well and it's very quick. Cindy, hi Cindy. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Love the Axminster chuck and the O'Donnell jaws. Yeah, I do too. What I found is that they're very shallow. So this is, so I'll try not to misorient this because I just kind of treat it up. But this tenon is pretty short, but it's almost too long for this this surface here. So you have to have pretty short tenons on this stuff. You can actually see if I zoom in here a little bit. And I'll skittle over a little bit. Whoops, went the wrong way again. You can see there's actually a little bit of a gap between my tenon and my surface of my chuck. It's not something I'd really want to do or recommend to do, but this was just a little jam chuck because I got to true up a bowl, so I'm not really turning this piece. I just trued up this edge to work as a jam chuck. So yeah, they're very skinny, sort of dovetail in there, but it's nice. I'll show you the rest of the attachments later, but we're just going to use this piece as a bit of a jam chuck. So, excuse me, let the sneeze. That was weird. Sorry. Let's see. In the UK, we say 10 to 15% wall thickness in the overall bowl diameter. Yeah, that's right. Well, 1 to 10 or 10% to 15%. Perfect, Philip. Yep. I hear there's a U.S. dealer now. Yeah, I think there is. I don't know who. Joaquin, good to have you here. Thanks for joining, my friend. What's Cindy saying? Todd, did you get the SK82? That one's only available in one. No, I didn't. I just got the 100 and the 114. So yeah, she says, yeah, shorter tenons for those jaws. I was skeptical to find that they hold so well, and it's never a problem so far. Yeah, I've never really had a problem with shorter tenons. This one's, some of my tenons are kind of long, so I'm going to use this chuck on the second turning of this one bowl we have here, so we'll have to skinny down the tenon a bit. So I just put this chunk on. It's a solid piece. It's Osage orange, I think. And so we've got a variety. Let me show what I got here. So this is the wet bowl blank. So we're done with that. Let's throw that on the floor. So we've turned that bowl. Now we've got bowls that are dried and warped. And you can see how warped this one is. Nice oak bowl. That's going to be a pretty bowl. What did I do with my tape measures right there? So this is about 9, 8 7/8 this way, but across this way it's just 8 1/8. So there is 3/4 of an inch difference, almost an inch difference in length versus width. So we will be able to make it because we got 8 inches, 8 1/8. So if we go 1/8 of an eighth, and we can get about a 3/8 inch wall thickness. Or maybe, a 1/4 inch wall thickness on this bowl. So that's something to be aware of, and that's why you want to leave some thickness there. Probably left this a little thin for this bowl, but it's still going to work out. It's going to be a nice little bowl. I love white oak like that. So, but we're not going to turn that one today. Let's take a look at this. Is one we'll probably turn. Here's some other examples. So one of the things when you do turn a wet bowl is you want to leave on this nub. So when you're turning it wet and you're turning the outside, you're turning your tenon, and you're turning away this little piece. Leave this little piece because we're going to use that little center mark there to remount this thing. So that's something you want to be aware of. But if you look at this piece, you'll see that the tenon is quite oval as well. So we're going to remount this on this jam chuck here, and turn that, pin that up there and turn that tenon again. So that's probably one we'll look at today. It's got a little bit of cracking in it, but it should hold out. I'm hopeful. A walnut bowl and another sycamore bowl here. These ones I put a tenon on. So here's a mistake I made. I didn't leave that tenon off, or it broke off in the drying process. This one has a mortise, and it is ovoid. It's longer this way than it is this way. So that would have to be trued up. So we'd do the same thing. We'd pin it up there, approximate the center with the tailstock, and recut that recess. This one, we left the mark on. It's gone pretty cattywampus on us. It's really kind of warped over. This bowl has a lot of warping. There's a nice little bump here. But it'll be a nice, pretty bowl when we twice turn that one. So, sycamore. And I got some other examples, but we'll not we'll not look at those. So this is the one we want to look at today, and we'll go through and remount this and size the tenon. These are 50 millimeter jaws. Oh, I should show this. So this is what I turned at the Woodturner's retreat. I'm planning to do some texture. I'm not quite sure on that one yet, but this is the one I turned at the retreat last Saturday. The demo from Woodturner's retreat, and I did something. This and Chris Parker did a bowl of out of ash, and but that was fun. So that's a nice little oval bowl, a nice little scooped top. So that might be an interesting demo. Would to put that one on my calendar as well. So that was fun, and I brought it out because I do want to mount it back up and finish sanding everything up and finalize everything. So and do some texture on that one. So while I'm thinking about that, this month we have Across the Pond 2. We have, and here I am looking over this thing. Across the Pond 2, Jeff Hornig, and I didn't put the big J there, but it's Jeff Hornig. And Stuart Farini will be on Saturday, March 27th. So go check out Woodturner's Retreat and look for tickets there. That should be a fun event as well. Let me go back. Okay, so let's get on with mounting this thing up. I need a tailstock. Center, using my standard tailstock. Got my tape measure out of the way. So I'm just, I was talking about this for a second. So I looked at this earlier. So when I set this down on a flat surface, it rocks because I got two high points here and here. So let me hold it this way. It'd be easier on the picture. You can see that it's not level across here. So it's certainly not level where this disc is going to sit as well. So there's going to be a bit of rocking back and forth. If I had one of the things I could use is a sanding disc and hold it on there. You can see if I do that and I'll hold it this way just so you can see it's not flat. It rocks back and forth. So this is where you might want to build up a block like this, then maybe some padding on one side or the other to kind of fill the gap where those high points, opposite of those high points. So Glenn Lucas does something like that. He's got a turning plate that he just makes out of wood and some rubber matting of some sort. I'm going to put this over this way. So you could do that. I'm just choosing to push this up here and hold it by friction, and we'll get this guy mounted. And we just want it up there temporarily to hold the so I'm right in the center point there, and I'm just going to put a light pressure on it, just kind of rock it around, and you'll see how well it's sitting. It's sitting fairly well, and I'm not hearing too much rocking. I can hear it kind of crunching a little bit. Hopefully this won't crack on me. I will put my face shield on for this one. And I need to think about how I'm mounting it, so I should really measure. $50 millimeters, about 2 inches. It'll be about that. So I'm going to take a little bit off. That doesn't quite fit. So just a little bit. And I'm actually going to get my little tenon cutting spindle gouge. I like to use this guy for cutting tenons. So it just rolls in there and cuts a nice dovetail. We'll have to skinny this dovetail down too, because I got to fit it in a skinny Donald dog. Sorry about the mic. Speed all the way down, power on, speed up. Double checking everything. Just making sure everything sounds solid. Okay, so just in, tool on the tool rest, and just cutting in. Till I get a nice smooth cut. Drag on the bottom with the bottom wing and pull out. That feels nice and smooth there, it's not bumping. We'll thin out the tenon with some simple pull cuts with this gouge, since it's in hand. That looks like it'll do. I'm just going to thin this out a little bit while I'm here. Make sure it fits in that center hole of the chuck. I should set up camera 2 for you. I hadn't even thought about that. Just kind of got in the shop and started working. So let me figure this out here. Oh. Not that one, that one. It's a little too close to my belly. Oh. It's not cooperating very well today. So that's a better shot. So the tenon looks good. It is a dovetail in here, so I've got a nice dovetail there. We'll tighten in just a little bit. So it's looking good. What we'll do is maybe take away some of this outside so it's not bouncy. We'll do that now. Otherwise, when you turn around, we won't really have access to it. We do have pretty good access with these O'Donnell jaws, so it's kind of nice. So take a bowl gouge for that, just a typical Todd Rain sweep, I guess. 55 degree and a nice swept back wing. And we'll just what's the drawer liner? Yeah, for the platter for turning the second turning. So certainly, and I've got a bigger one here. Let me see if I can grab. Oh, that's rather big in the picture. I'll widen out. So that's my bigger sanding disc. So certainly on there, but if you leave the middle bare and put drawer liner on either side, and so you have a step up at the sides and hollow in the middle, that would work. This is about 9 inches in diameter, that one. So whatever diameter you need for what you're turning. Drawer liner would work. Mouse pad would work, maybe a bit spongy. But yeah. Okay. Outside the bowl. So we're going to try and do a push cut up here. And take some away some of that step there. come around and get this rim. I'm going to kind of take it in little bites here. And come back and clean up this little trying to get a nice sort of gentle OG on that guy. I should have gone it. Whoops, wrong way. Right about there. I should have had that up. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. We got a pretty good cut. I still haven't finished the cut here, so I got to go back and finish that up. But otherwise, it's looking pretty good. We do have this crack around this pith area, so I don't mind that so much. Let's see. Lee says, wood turning store in New York State is the dealer for the chuck you're using. Oh, okay. Steve Fulgoni up there in New York. So yeah, check that out. Way to get them as well. So thank you, Lee, for joining. Appreciate it. Okay, let me just finish this rim. We still got plenty of meat. Plenty of wood there to create this shape a bit better. Let's see if I got it all now. I don't often do a bowl with a raised rim like this, but I thought I'd try it since I left it there. That's looking pretty good. I think I might bring this shape in just a bit. So let me click that. Let you see what I'm seeing. So I don't have quite enough OG here. I got a nice curve here, but I want to bring this in a little bit. So we'll kind of go back and reshape that just a little bit. That's a lot better. And do I have my teardrop out? I don't see it. It's the wrong one. There it is. I have my half round bar with my teardrop on it, so I'll just use that. I don't have it in handle, so I'm just going to use it to do a little shear scraping. Blend those cut lines in a little bit. And got a little bit there. I just got to take off on this guy. Just a little cut right here. I'll put a little curve in it. There we go. So we got a little gentle curve in this guy, Nice flowing OG here. So I think that's good. Well, let's flip it around and see what we got. There we go. Looking like we got about a 1/4 inch, maybe more of meat in the center. Now, did I size this chuck or the tenon? I didn't really measure it, but we'll see how well I did by eye. Oh, look at that. Not too bad, not too shabby. I like it. I'm still getting used to this chuck key. It's pretty short. It's one thing I'm not a fan of. Even my Nova chuck, which is smaller, has got a longer key. So we'll see. It's just kind of short. Okay, let's see how that's running pretty true. I don't feel anything too bad going on there. Now, normally before I switched around, I would have maybe sanded a bit out here and stuff like that, but I'm choosing not to sand here today. We do have some sanding to do on this bowl, but we can leave that for another day. So yeah, that's the essentials of mounting and returning a tenon, at least the way I go about it. Again, you can chuck it up in a jam chuck like I did. You can use a platter thing like Glenn Lucas and maybe some others do. What do you guys do? Let me know. Do you guys kind of jam chuck it like I was doing? Do you throw a plate on there? Do you use any other kind of Longworth chuck or Straka chuck or something like that? I don't know. So let's see. Oh, so Lee says he gets pen making supplies for them. Okay, good to hear. So yeah, I've met. Did I meet Steve once? I think once I did. When I was working in the telecom business. I was up in Jersey and went up to New York, just outside of New York, Orange. I don't know if it's not Orange County. There's a woodturning club up there I went to anyway. So I think he was there. So now we got to cut the inside. Bowl gouge again. First step is to cut this rim. So maybe I'll straighten this out and just kind of get this rim. So let's see, we're pretty close there. And we got to even that out. This is going to be kind of bumpy because this is a big knot and there are some cracks there. So when you're doing twice turning and you got this kind of wood, face shield is important. Yeah. All right, here we go. Speed up. I'll turn a little faster now. 1600 RPM. Yeah, I'm getting a little shrapnel on my little finger. Take a look at that. That's very sharp. I'll bevel that off here. But I think the rim is looking okay. You can see that we got a thin rim here. We're pretty fat here, so that tells you, kind of shows you the little differences in shrinkage. Overhead, let's put that in up there. Let me deburr that corner. Just a little face shield down. Just a little bit like that. Let's take a look. So we got a clean cut all the way around. Our cracks are looking okay. I mean, they're still there, but they're not breaking out or anything. So I think we're going to be fine. It does go all the way to the rim. So a little CA glue maybe before you did this might have helped or whatever, but I'm just going to leave it and we'll just keep cutting. I'm trying to make a wall thickness the same all the way down. So I may have to. Do I need to move that? I don't. Maybe not. Debating whether I needed to move my this camera, but I think we're okay. Kind of pick up that cut in there. While I've got that thinned out, I'll take the negative rake scraper or shear scraper and just clean this up. I'll lightly round that over. And take a look at that. That looks pretty good. Feels good. This edge doesn't feel quite so nice. I'm going to fix that right now before I get too far. I'll slice that bevel instead of okay. Back to the insides. Heel and just kind of rub back and forth till you kind of pick up that cut. Turn the handle to follow the contour of the bowl. I'll scrape this out a little bit. It's really bumpy right in there. I think that's where that crack starts and opens up. Okay, stop for a little break. Take a look at the comments. What do we got here? Cindy, for chewing up the tenon. I gotta put myself big because I get hidden here. So she says, on a twice turn bowl, I put the opening of the bowl over a chuck jaws and bring up the tailstock. Yeah, you could certainly do that as well. Yeah, that's I just had this little block of Osage orange sitting around. I gotta go. Which side am I on? Okay, there. I just this and go a little. That's a little bit easier. So yeah, I just had this little thing sitting around, so just checked it up. But yeah, chuck jaws. I've done that before. Just laying up right against the chuck jaws and yeah, doing that. Even a little bit of doesn't really matter because it's not a finished bowl on the inside. So marking up that inside doesn't matter. But yeah, all kinds of ways to do it. Anybody else got some thoughts on how they do? So yeah, there's that. Let me go here. Let me sorry, trying to zoom in here a little bit. So you can see that crack right there. It's starting to create bounce right down here, but not too bad. It's healed up at the bottom here, so it stops right there. So we'll be good here. And the bottom, I'm going to flatten right out at this point, so my bowl gouge will have to kind of get back over this side of the tool rest, not so much this way, but this way to get across the bottom. So let's do that, shall we? Shall we? Yes. Okay. Just coming back and just kind of getting that motion that I getting used to kind of get that nicely blended. Now we'll take this off. A little too much there at once, but we'll come back and clean up. Try not to push too hard at the bottom. Okay, you can see those rings in there from the heel of my gouge kind of bouncing on the bottom or rubbing on the bottom. And that's because I haven't really relieved that heel. It's kind of sharp actually, so I should do that. I just haven't. Not something that's really really affected. I got a little bump right in here. I'm going to go back and cut that before I scrape it. The rest of the wall is feeling okay. I'm going to see if I can come back up here. I do have a bump in here I didn't realize. Not a good choice to do that now, but let's see what happens. It's going to scream at me, I'm sure. Yeah, that's better. So we'll get that bottom bump. It's right in there. Now, how deep am I getting? That's a good question. Maybe we should have checked before. I don't know. Let's check now. Oh, we're good. We're good. We got maybe 3/16, a quarter inch on the bottom. So, and that's about our thickness all the way around. So we're just going to do a little shear scraping off the bottom. I do need to change tool rest. Where's that other one? This is overkill. This is one of these robo rests. I bought one of these from Reed before he stopped making them. Boy, that's way too much. I don't need that. That's too big. That's for big bowls. I just need something I can lower a little bit to get my scraper handle up, but at center. That's pretty good. Put there. I don't have a freed up thing. Maybe I will take this to the grinder for a quick second. And do I have this camera turned on? I don't. So I will ask if anybody has the little teardrop cutter of mine. So this is a small one. So it's very simple to kind of grind. And I'm just checking my camera 4. You're going to see me here in a second, I think. Oh, it's still black. Not quite there. Come on. There we go. There's camera 4. So we're going to move that over to the grinder. And we'll do a little sharpening. I don't know that I need to zoom in too much here. That'll work. Oh, now I got to hit number 4. This is where I need my phone set up to change that camera, which I can do. I just haven't done yet. So excuse me while I step in front and bump the camera a little bit. Okay. So we're at my big grinder. See, does that help? Maybe it does. So platform set at 75 degrees. We got a nice, I think 180 grit on this side, 80 grit over on this side. This is where I grind them all. And then I just put a keen edge on them here. Just straight on the platform. Swing it around. I've got about a 16th inch gap between my wheel and my platform. There's never any chance of this getting caught down there. This is the edge I use most for shear scraping, this rounded edge here. So I'll just make sure I got that one. That's it. Boom, done. Was that worth the trip? Let's see. All right. We're back. Oops. There we go. Yep. So we'll put that back in the tool. And just kind of angle it slightly over to the side to get that keen edge right on there. And this should be nice and sharp. Get right on that center nub. A little bit finer there. Another pass. There's that crack. That feels nice and smooth and continuous. And from there, we can start sanding. Losing my words. But yeah, so that's it. This rim needs a bit of treatment. It's got a little grooves in it, but little sanding on there and the outside. So we could turn this back around now on a jam chuck. Take the foot off. Do we have time to do that? Yeah, we have maybe a bit of time. Let's see. Philip says, I use a dome-shaped piece of timber. Yeah, okay, timber. I see the correction. To place the part-turned bowl over. Yeah, kind of like what I did, Philip. It's really not fully, oops, I'm in the wrong camera. Not really fully dome-shaped, but I just, it rested on the outside rim here, at least on this part of it, sort of there and there. And the tips kind of weren't resting, but snug it up, and that works. So it's never going to be perfect with a dried piece. So where's that? Where'd that key go? There it is. So now, the question is, how do we mount it this way to take that off? So maybe we'll do the same thing. Put this little plug back in. And we'll bring the tailstock back up. That should seat nicely on that. I'll put maybe a piece of paper towel or something between it to just kind of not dent the surface. Typically, I would use there's a piece of paper towel. I would use a softer timber here than on my bowl, just so I don't mar up the bowl, inside of the bowl. But I think Osage orange. I think this is either cedar elm. Yeah, I think it's cedar elm. So it looks like to me. Doesn't look like sycamore, cedar elm, I think. It's pretty hard too, but I think Osage orange might be a little harder. So this is why, again, we keep that little nub on, so we can kind of just did it up very gently and just moving this back and forth to see if it's going to move anywhere. It's not really moving anywhere, so I'm happy with that. Tighten the tailstock. Just gentle pressure, don't need a whole bunch. And all we're going to do is take that, before I do that, maybe I'll just quickly measure my thickness at the bottom here. I'll do this a little bit off camera. So there's the thickness right at my tenon bottom. So I've got that much, which is about 5/16 maybe. So if I take off that tenon, I'll be left with probably 3/16. Maybe, yeah, probably an 1/8 inch tenon. So we just want to take off the tenon and just slightly undercut, not too much, that bottom. So measure that now so we don't forget when we're cutting the tenon off. Lock that down, get that in that hole, sinks into the ring, so we're good there. Tighten it up just gently. That's not moving, okay. I will use a small bowl gouge. I've got a little 3/8 bowl gouge here. Same sweep. Put in a little handle. Safety goggles. And let's go. That's turning nice and true. Yeah, that's working well. So, okay, so we'll just take off this little tenon. Dive in a little bit. And just see what I did there. So I've got a little bit of hollow. It's hard to see there. Just a little bit, maybe just a little bit more is what I need there. I left that tenon, so that platform sort of as my foot. Yeah, we're getting pretty thin on our bottom. I can see I've taken away about 3/16, so I've got 2/16 left on the the bottom of that bowl. So I'm not going to go any thinner. I'm just going to do one more check though. Yeah, I got a nice hollow there, so that's good. This might be a good time to, I'll just clean that up a little bit. Get a little point. And maybe one right around the foot. And just a little cleanup of that foot. There we go. Go away. Okay, I am not going to turn that right off because I'm on a jam chuck and I've only got my goggles on. So we're just going to cut it off and then we'll carve it off at the end. Back off some tailstock pressure. There we go. Nice little foot, and then we'll just carve that little nub off. So there's the profile. Let me do that, do that, and do that. So not too bad. I think that looks all right. A little scrap little bowl. Might be good for, well, it's a good sized popcorn bowl. So somebody gave me grief for not having wooden popcorn bowls when I was watching Cindy. So maybe that's the first one. So certainly some sanding along the way as we did that. As we turned the outside, we'd sand the outside. As we turned the inside, we'd sand the inside. And it's got a little rim on it. So it's a little sharp, but a little sanding will make that nice. So, and the rim's got a little bit of a contour in it. So, and a bevel. And then, yeah, just a nice simple bowl. So that, my friends, is a twice turn bowl. And look at that. We're right up on the hour. So I think that was a pretty successful one, if I must say. I think last week we went thin and a little too thin. We had fun. I had fun doing that. I had fun doing this. I hadn't turned a bowl, at least a twice turned one for a while. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming and joining. Tony says, I like it. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. Cindy, nice. Thank you. Facebook user, thanks. Appreciate that. So yeah, that, if you've got any questions on anything I did today, the bowl, the cracks, I'm just going to leave in it. I don't, for a popcorn bowl, that doesn't matter. It'll eventually get filled with butter and salt. So that's fine. And then the foot I'll carve off and sand. But sorry, lost in thought there. That's it for me. 2:30 Todd with you every Friday at 2:30. Come back next week. What is next week? Next week will be March the 12th, and we're supposed to a square bowl. I'm supposed to do a square bowl. Nobody told me. We'll see how that goes. So I've got some pretty cherry. Is it cherry? Maple. I don't know. It's up there. And so I'll hopefully have time to prep that. Square bowl. Okay. It might be more of a shallow platter, but it'll be square. Haven't done one of those in a few years. So join me next week, right here, same place, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, my channel, Woodturning Tool Store, Woodturners Retreat, Facebook page. Yeah, page. Or on my YouTube channel at Woodturning Tool Store. So 2:30 Todd saying good night, good day, good afternoon, have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next time. One more sec. What was Roy overhead shot? Okay, let me get. Is that what you wanted to see, Roy? So there's the profile. Nice little OG. Nice little slight cove on the rim. Little bevel on the rim, and a little foot that's undercut. A couple of marks there, and a nice simple focus bowl there. Yep, excellent. Okay. A couple of last questions. What food safe finish do you use? I use probably put Mahoney's walnut oil in this. I do have a food safe butcher block mix of it's beeswax and oils. I think it's tried and true. I'm not quite sure. I think it's one of those, but something like that would work. Yeah, walnut oil. Both my wife and I are fine with walnuts, although my wife doesn't like walnuts. I think she's okay with it. So good fun. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Blake, for joining. Roy, thanks again. Other camera, please. Okay. Well, tailstock? Is that the one? That's a little zoomed in. I'll zoom that back out. So does that help? I don't know if that's what you're looking for. Let me know. I'd be happy to help you out there or show you what you need. Thanks, Cindy. Good night. And we'll talk to you soon. And otherwise, folks, thanks very much. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Check out Woodturning Tool Store and drop me a line if you need any questions answered. Till next Friday, we'll see you. Thanks.